What is up?
And welcome to Cliffhangers.
Yes, we are your friendly neighbourhood lovers of all things drag with the unofficial, unrequested and unhinged Drag Race podcast.
Thank you. And now, please allow me to introduce to the stage the stain you just can't budge. It's Barney.
Oh, and that's right. Also in the studio today, we have, she's a medical marvel. She's the inoperable tumour. She's... It is Lukey.
Well, hello there.
Give it up for the girl. We just want to say a mighty quick disclaimer about the Jada Essence Hall of Cliffhangers. Listen, we are super fans of drag in all of its forms, and we are here to uplift queer art. That's all we give a shit about. So taking a leaf out of our heroes and our mothers, the Boulet Brothers book, nobody gets to critique what your fantasy is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, our number one rule is basically the only people that should be getting laughed at is us. Yeah. Any bitch doing drag is already a star, and nothing we say is going to change or discredit that. Before we get going, can I just say...
Please.
I think it's because with this season, it's the first time, like, whether it's we've seen them in real life or we've just like been aware of them on Instagram, like, this is the most amount of girls I've been aware of going in, and it just made it... I think it's like the most exciting episode 1 I've ever seen. I was literally just like smiling the whole time, so excited. It's just so cute. Maybe even the best first episode ever. I
can't tell you, like, so just to give you some background knowledge. Oh, already going in with all the secrets. We actually watched it completely separately and haven't spoken about it until then because we wanted it all to be so fresh and so clean for you. So I actually don't know how she feels about any of this first episode, so I'm as excited as you.
I may be dropping some bombs. And probably too many sound effects.
Please. So I actually just want to really fucking echo that as well, because I was literally screaming. I cannot believe. Now, let's give it up to the first season girls, because they were giving you nothing but quality TV, absolutely. But I feel like obviously season one walked, so season 2 could stride.
Yeah. Strut.
And them season 1 girls, they were giving it hard, but this season 2 is like in another league. Like everything about it. Upper echelon. Like literally everything about it just like blowing my tiny mind as soon as it started. And yeah, I was literally screaming as well. I love at this point as well, like the really gorgeous thing about the beginning, I think, is like everyone is so excited to be there, and the competition hasn't reached that sort of like tearing each other's like eyes out at this point. So like when they first get there, there's that like really like gorgeous sense of sisterhood where everyone's just like, I'm so pumped to be here, and everyone's just like so excited. And I think that's why watching it, I was literally just like hyperventilating, being like, the girls are here and they're ready to compete.
Well, yeah, because normally with me anyway, it takes about like 2 or 3 episodes because there's like just so many strangers at the beginning. Like you might know a couple, but it's just a bit like a whirlwind. You don't really know who's who, but because in this, like immediately we just knew everyone, so it was just straight away in with the lols. Yeah,
and I think one of the great things about America, about Britain compared to America, is that because you're on like cycle 79 of American, I think at this point like it's so serious. The American one, like our British like sensibilities, I just think like chill us out a bit more. Everyone goes there to have jokes, and you can tell by the way that they enter and the personalities that are like presented, the sort of people that they pick is so much more lighthearted. Like the American one feels so much more akin to like America's Next Top Model or something.
But even
like
Rue's
that.
attitude, like I've noticed it last season, and even in this, I was just like,
they're having way more fun.
Rue's creasing. It's like, is it because she finds our accents funny, or just like she can't get the correct meds in the UK? Like there's something going on. She's having a fucking hoot. That's all I know.
Yeah, 110%. Can I also just point out as well that this is the first season ever, as we just head into the workroom, to include our Scottish and Welsh queens.
Indeed. So
that's a turn up for the books, and I really think that their inclusion of these queens is gonna really ruffle some feathers, because they seem like very strong competitors.
Would you say the fact that there's no Irish representation reflects on Blue Hydrangea? Thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry, Blue. So, without further ado, let's head into the workroom. First up, we have Lawrence Genie!
He there, she there, call themselves the fat bastard of drag and say that they can't sing or they can't dance. So, I guess, what can you do, Lawrence?
And for anyone just tuning in now, that was supposed to be a Scottish accent.
It's better than RuPaul's.
Listen, I straight away, like, what a banger to open with. Straight away, I was like, okay, I'm fully sold on this bitch. I love anyone that self-deprecates from the jump. I'm like, okay, you are, like, if you're going to laugh at people, much like this podcast, if you're going to laugh at people, like, you sure as hell need to be able to laugh at yourself. And that's what she was serving from the very moment she walked in.
I really liked her entrance line. I'm like the Loch Ness Monster. A legend! Very good, very good.
I really had to grow up as well because literally on just my notes for like every single person walked in, it's just like gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I need a thesaurus because all I'm writing here is gorgeous.
I did think that was my first thought though. Like, what a fucking gorgeous face. Like, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, you don't often see the little kind of tip of the nose dimple as a feature.
Yeah. And her saying that she was the Susan Boyle. What I love about UK Drag Race as well is like, we don't give a fuck because like so many references that like they're just gonna be like who? I'm not sure if American people know who Susan Boyle is, but if you don't know, you better get to know because when she became a multimillionaire, what did she do? She stayed in her lovely 2 up, 2 down on like Penton Street, and she refused to move. She was like, no, is she Scottish? I mean, I imagine if he says he's the Susan Boyle of drag.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So very obsessed with him.
I saw on their Instagram, they said the look is inspired by Versace and Lady Gaga.
Versace.
Which I can see from the print.
Yeah,
I really liked I love it when like the boot goes into the trouser.
Yeah.
So into the colour combos. Wondering if purple is a theme, as that's what Lawrence wore in the Meet the Queens.
True.
Inclusive flag, but maybe that's just a coinky dinky.
And one thing to say as well that I applaud and love and celebrate when we have a larger queen with a larger physique as well. Like I would imagine it's harder to create the hourglass proportion without just building out. And the shape and the padding on her, sublime.
Well, we'll get into that in the.
Oh, I bet we will.
So we'll give her a little.
Oh.
What do they call it? With your
proportionizing.
Yes, thank you. Proportionizing.
And also a lovely blue brow as well.
Oh, for the natural look.
Did you notice the blue brow?
I did notice the natural look.
And then second in, we have it is our girl. It is Cherry Valentine.
She on Meet the Queens described herself as a glamour club kid, dark and gothic fantasy. And when that fucking headpiece fell off, I screamed.
They did her so dirty. Like that was very pheromone falling in the talent competition.
But I liked it. I think it shows.
It humbled her.
Yeah, exactly, and it showed her sense of humour, and it showed that she's not like. I think Cherry and Bimini. I think come across so well. I just think they just come across as like the nicest people ever.
100%. That's what I was gonna say. They did her dirty on the BBC by airing that. But I thought, like, actually, like, in terms of just, like, what an all-round babe she appears, it probably did her more good than harm, to be honest, because I think, like, it just, like, that laugh, am I going to set my phone alarm to that laugh? Like, that is a piercing, gorgeous laugh.
Well, my friend, that is Alan Cummings sitting there in the confessional. Maybe he's popped a couple of pills or two. Those eyes are very dark.
Yeah, that was my first thought. That was the first thing I wrote down. I was like, your gay icon better be Alan Cumming because you are, if 20 years ago you were Alan Cumming. My first note actually for Cherry Valentine was absolutely obsessed.
Yeah, I wrote, absolutely gorgeous, love a dark queen, face beat, raven cheeks.
Also as well, the confessional look, like very, very that's very like Northern boys waiting outside of the club.
Yeah.
The gay Northern boys, you know.
Well, you need a puffer because it's chilly.
Oh,
I love that accent as well.
Yeah, 100%. And also for a tiny girl, the padding is so right. Like
physically fit.
100%. Like I'm personally, as you full well know, I'm actually not a padding queen. Like I like an ironing board straight down kind of boy.
Disgusting!
But when they hit that padding right, as have both Lawrence Shoney and Cherry Valentine at this point.
Two for two.
Whoever is carving those hip pads out of a sofa, like, that is, whoever's doing that is bang on. And I just thought her padding was gorgeous. And that nude lip, please.
Get out of town. Yeah, and she made all of that herself. Obsessed. Like, I love anything that's even a little bit like, ooh, a little bit dark. So just having like jeweled like slashes of blood. Yeah, just absolutely sick. Thought it was funny, like Lawrence coming straight in with cussing out her teeth.
She woke up and chose violence. Like, that was like the first thing that she said. Just like, ooh, don't have good teeth in Darlington. But again, reflected so well on both of them because Cherry just like roared with laughter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then next into the room, we have Ms. Tia Coffee.
The question remains.
Are you a tea or coffee girl?
Tea.
He says as we sip a lovely semi-sparkling white wine.
So our girl Tia, she says she's all singing, all dancing, so the opposite of Laurencio. She's old school meets new school. She's got the Dave Lynn link, very end of the pier.
My first thing that I wrote down was height. I
didn't notice it until she was in the Nottinghamshire look.
How did you not notice it? She's like 98% leg.
I don't know, maybe just because she was just on her own. Like
no sort of frame of reference.
Yeah.
She wasn't standing next to a really tall tree, so it's really hard to
I quite liked the reveal joke. Just like that, the kind of noochness of it. Like,
what did she say?
She was like, reveal. Oh, it's not a reveal. I thought that kind of got me at first, but...
So my thing is with the entrance line is that either you come in with like an absolute banger or it's just best, just like come in. If you're a look queen, I'm not saying she's a look queen.
I don't think anyone would.
But if like, I think sometimes like if you haven't got an absolute banger of a line, just like come in and I feel like
you don't have to.
I feel like a line that doesn't zing, like really, it goes down like a sack of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was a bit like that with the reveal because the sort of play on reveal has been done so many times. You know, like need I remind you that in Aquarius season, like every single queen had some gag about that they were going to do a reveal, and then
just the joke of them all at the fucking final looking like microwave.
Yeah, all looking like jacket potatoes.
Based on the entrance look alone, basically just the off the rack leopard print. I wrote a thin vinegar strokes.
Interesting. When she said about Kofi Annan, that cracked me up. I was like, okay, she's gonna be giving us the comedy, but also she's clearly an intelligent girl as well.
She seems very pointed about East London.
Oh, okay. We need to address. Listen, you're saying
we're currently in East London.
Yeah. If you couldn't hear, that was the overground that just went past from Haggerston Station going to Dalston Junction Station. We are born and bred London, East London queens. And
I'm a recent arrival, but still.
I wasn't even actually aware. We are both people. We have worked quite solidly in Clapham for a long time. And we weren't personally aware of this beef between specifically one place, Clapham, and East London. And listen, if there's one thing about the East London girls that I can tell you, we know how to fight.
We know how to ask someone to hold our earrings.
Yeah.
So
I feel like maybe we're being a bit oversensitive because our surroundings are the East London queens.
I felt pressed.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I felt like a panini. But I just didn't even know that this was a thing. That it was like Clapham versus East London, because it's like it's actually a very small Clapham drag scene to be taken on the whole East London scene. So it's very unnecessary.
Very unaware of this beef, keeping an eye on it, keeping a broken bottle in my back pocket.
Yeah, I wasn't here for the beef, but here we are. And she says she's a performer queen, so I'll be interested to see when we have song and dance challenges. Like dancing challenges, and see what she brings to the stage. And now, next to the stage, we have Bimini Bomboulash.
Bimini Bomboulash. I didn't even know she had a surname.
I remember, like back in the day when we first when we first started Truffle Pigs. I remember that at some point on Insta she did have her full name, and then obviously when you become an icon, legend, star such as Jesus, Cher, you go by one name, Lukey, Barley. You know. Listen, if there's one thing that you're going to win me round by. It's like, oh, you're giving me the look, but then you open your mouth and you have that accent and voice.
I couldn't believe it, because I've never heard her speak before, and I've just been a very long time fan of the art, fan of the visuals, but never heard the mouth on it. And honestly, I don't know, I think in my mind, just because she's so akin with like Pamela Anderson, I don't know, I never even considered a voice, but it certainly wasn't that. But
Never
that just makes it
voice.
even better.
It's like a lovely mute angel.
She's Ariel.
Yeah, truly. And when, let's just break down the look, because first of all, did you or did you not clock that jeweled minge that she had?
Yes, like the vagina jewels I wrote.
Of course you did. And that gorgeous wig. I believe, I may need to fact check this, but I believe that all of Bimini's wigs are done by weekday.
That is correct. I have previously fact checked this also.
Yeah. And that wig was absolutely gorgeous.
I've written, comes in looking like some kind of She-Ra warrior sex goddess. Then when I saw her, I was just like, she is banging He-Man.
Most importantly, let's talk about the confession look. When it flipped to her in that coat and hat, I was like, yes. Is it giving Bag of Chips the reckoning slightly?
Oh, okay, maybe.
Did I make that up? Is she wearing a yellow fur jacket and so was Bag of Chips?
Can't remember.
What she wasn't wearing though is chicken feathers. Shout out to Joey J.
I saw on her Instagram that she said the look was inspired by Brooke Candy, and literally as soon as I read that, it was like,
the entrance look.
Yeah, of course. Gorgeous.
Shout out to BC. Okay, so the next person that we have in is Ginny Lemon.
Fancy a slice!
Now, can I be really honest with you? When I first saw the photos, I wasn't sure that Guinea was going to be for me.
Guinea fowl.
Guinea was going to be for me. Let's first and foremost point out what sort of drag do you love, Luki?
I like pretty girls, itty bitty girls. No, I just like hot people being good at shit, basically.
100%. For me. My number one thing in drag, I don't give a fuck literally about anything else. Sure, I love the glamour, I love the fashions, but all I care about is, can you host? Can you entertain a room? Can you keep the crowd laughing, entertained? I've seen and know plenty of queens that are absolutely gorgeous and can turn a look, beautiful makeup, but that is only sort of like 11% of the job for me. I'm really hitting it with the percentages, if you noticed today. A lot of percentages.
I'd like to hear some decimals and some fractions.
That's a really small part of the job for me, because especially in London, like, that's gorgeous, but go be part of Fashion Week, go be part of photo shoots. But like, if I'm going to see drag, then I'm going to see a show. So I need you to be able to perform. So for me, like, the performance is like the number one thing. Definitely at the expense of the look. But I wasn't sure, if I'm honest, I wasn't sure how much Ginny was going to be for me. She won me round in about 6 seconds. Straight away, I was like, yes, this is for me.
Well, she says she's the hairiest woman in drag, and that her style is improvisational comedy, down to arse. Just some down to arse working class humour.
I'm down to arse.
So yeah, I was the same. Like, I've seen pictures of her, and the look isn't necessarily for me, but like, if she's going for that whole wacky like TV presenter thing, she's doing the lemon thing, like, yeah, like, that's what you look like. Congratulations. Everyone that we've spoken to who's met her or watched her has been like obsessed with her. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing it, because
this is the thing. All of our mates, anyone that we've worked with, like, knows her. And there's one other person that we'll get to, but Ginny Lemon is someone that literally every person I know that has worked with her knows her is like, she is the greatest. She's one of them queens that just, who's like, her personality and her what's the word?
Joie de vivre.
Her joie de vivre.
Effervescence.
It just supersedes her. Like, everyone is like, oh, like, she is that bitch. So I'm super excited to see what she brings to the show. My first note is jelly shoe.
They were old maiden type of shoes.
Truly, But again, this is what I love about UK Drag Race. I love that we all have like different sort of like iterations of what drag is across the world, and like you can see that so much with Thailand. Like Thai drag is so different.
Oh, so gorgeous.
So gorgeous.
Beautiful gowns. Beautiful gowns.
And in America, you obviously have like the pageant circuit is like such a huge thing that just it doesn't exist here. And our sort of our history of drag and our narrative is like so different. And when people say, for anyone tuning in that's across the world, when people talk about like end of the pier drag, is because like historically, one of the locations that we'd have drag queens is in like seaside venues, and they would be like present for doing like bingo and things like that. And again, that was not going back to what I said earlier, that not at all about the look. Sure, they were big wig drag queens, like huge teased hard front drag queens. And if you need a hard front, please go to trufflepigwigs.co.uk. But it was always again about this like dark comedy, very blue, a bit blue. They haven't tried to fit the mold of like trying to squeeze UK drag into the American mold. It's like, nah. In the UK, this is what drag looks like. It's crunchy. If you look at like East London drag, sure, their balls are hanging out. No one's shaved. Like that's what drag is about for us. Like we're not. A lot of the people that are involved in drag are interested in like gender bender drag. Like it's not. They're not trying to come for you for the beauty, for the page.
I just want to put on a goddamn show.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to throw in a couple of lucite pleasers and have a mad one.
Make my heels clack. Thank you very much. Anyway.
Next up we have is Ms. Ellie Diamond.
She says she has given us fierce looks, amazing performance, and a fart or two, but you saw what happened to fucking Rock'em Sakura. Yeah. Laugh at women all you like, but do not laugh at a fart joke. Michelle Visage will not laugh at a fart joke.
Absolutely. It's like, why don't you all pretend that you have vaginas and mock them for the past 15 series? But if you ever talk about a fart, then we're going to have to bring it up on the main stage and mock you for it.
Yeah, literally. Of course, Shangela, come in a fat suit. Of course, ladies, come in as old women with droopy tits, but if you bring up a bodily function, I swear to God. Yeah. Gabagool!
I also just need to point out at this very early stage that I would die for Ellie Diamond's face.
I honestly can't. She does all her own hair and costumes and mushrooms. She probably does a lot of mushrooms. And she's doing it for the baby queens. And the fact that she is a baby queen, her and Cherry as well, it's just like absolutely ridiculous. I've been doing my own makeup for 89 years now, and I can't make myself look that cute. Absolutely. I just wrote the beat is sensational, angelic, and then I wrote strawberry shortcake cutie pie dream angel.
I mean, you heard it here first. One thing to win me round straight away is just like humility. She seems so humble as well. Like, for someone that has such a gorgeous angel face, she was just. I love when queens come in and they're excited to be there. Like it's just that for me is like that's something that's like really soaks through the TV and you're like, okay, I'm happy you're here, you're happy you're here, we're all happy.
But speaking of faces, you see Lawrence's face when she walked in.
Ooh,
chilly.
Ooh, the Scottish drama of it all.
I don't know if there's some kind of backstory here or just general jealousy, but we need to unearth what this beef is or what this tension is.
I don't think there is beef. I think that for the first year that they're including like Scottish queens and stuff, I think because Lawrence Chaney was the first in, she was like, maybe I'm the only one. Also, maybe because it's like you asked me how to get into drag and now you're in here with me and excuse me, your face is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, maybe. I mean, but then I didn't feel shade at all from Lawrence. I felt like maybe she was a bit like
there was shit going on. Well, yeah, not
I thought she was
shade.
Gobsmacked, like, oh damn. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I felt shade.
Oh damn.
Yeah. You know when someone comes into the workroom and just straight away you're like, okay, she's gonna be rocking my shit the whole time. Yeah.
One thing I will say.
Say it.
As a groundbreaking pioneer of chaps, I'm a bit concerned.
Can I just say, aside from the very, very hardcore work that Christina Aguilera did in the Dirty video, like Miss Lukey Luck of Rebel Bingo fame, she has really been rocking a chap on the main stage for quite some time. Like I'm gonna say 8 years ago.
Wow, I don't think it was that much. So we're only 13 ourselves. But anyway. But yeah, this new kind of bastardization of the chap. Like in this, so she's now wearing like a maxi skirt with just a like little peekaboo puss at the front.
Well, I would like to embarrass you on a public stage because actually that silhouette is a vintage look and it's actually often used in burlesque, which Lukey Luck of Femme Fatale fame is actually an ex-burlesque dancer, so I'm surprised.
It's still a bastardization of the chaps. But I thought, I'm going to start making a little count of how many of these, because these weird new fake chaps that's coming.
And also, when you're padding so hard as well, what cracks me up every time that anyone ever wears chaps is when your padding is on point. Like, obviously, your widest point is going to be your hips. So they've got, like, chaps, and then just, like, it looks like they're just, like, these gigantic hips are spilling out the sides of them.
Just like these 2 apples on like lollipops.
Yeah, it's very, very gorgeous.
All right, so now I guess we're going to go, sister.
Oh, I love you, sister. Oh, right, listen, straight away, first of all, we'll get on to what happens at the end, but
Can I just say, first of all, that her signature move is to look gorgeous and sometimes bored, and I'm into that.
Yeah, very that.
Nooch
I'm
gals.
actually very bored right now, so, but gorgeous.
What's the opposite of bored? I don't think I've ever felt that.
Gorgeous. Sister, great opening line. Like, listen, you're going to hit me with the Titanic reference
I had to
straight
fucking
away.
Google it. I didn't know.
What?
So it's like, well, I don't know what the fuss is about. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania. So is it from Titanic the film?
Yeah, that's what Kate Winslet says when she sees the Titanic. She's like, it doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania. Like, what a fantastic reference.
I've only seen Titanic once, like when it came out.
Listen, if
not
you're
in the
basic,
cinema.
maybe you didn't get it, but that's
If
really,
you're basic, you probably love Titanic. But yeah, I literally had to Google it. It's like an old boat that sailed from Liverpool to New York and got sold
you
broken
had to
up.
Google the Titanic.
No, the Mauritania.
Oh.
In 1935, I was like, and I still don't get it, but I don't care because I absolutely love her and I love the makeup. Can I also just say, first of all, the hair is absolutely gorgeous. Florencia Wigs. She's also done her Dusty Springfield wigs for this episode, and we love Florencia. Another Italian as well, Veni Vidi Vici.
Oh. One thing that we really love as wig stylists is when you see a queen has like developed an entire wig wardrobe with their stylist, and it just makes us super excited to see. I imagine that the majority of them have like stuck with like one wig stylist, and they're super excited to see the wig wardrobe that they've created together, because then the greatest thing about Drag Race is it's like giving you a platform to celebrate like queer art for designers, for wig stylists, all of that. So I love seeing. So I'm excited to see if Sister has worked with Florencia for the whole thing. So as I believe, maybe this can be fact checked. Florencia is like a West End wiggy, isn't she?
Well, yeah, because she's like the main wig maker on that thing with like Monet and Courtney and stuff. Yeah.
And the West End wiggies, we follow a couple of them, but the West End wiggies, listen, they be giving it to you.
They know their shit.
Yeah. And that
we are mere acquaintances with our shit.
We have viewed our shit. We absolutely are obsessed as well with that navy. That navy wig colour.
So rich and gorgeous.
So gorgeous. And I just really thought she really just from the entrance, from everything, just laid herself as someone that's like you said, authentic. Like she's given you like, same with Bimini. She's got a very clear identity of like what she sees her drag as, and I was just very into it.
And I think her face is absolutely beautiful as well.
She gives me slightly, definitely younger, but slightly. Sorry, did that sound like? She gives me slightly Crystal vibes. There's something she's got. They've both got.
Which Crystal?
Crystal. UK season 1. She gives you really. They've both got a very strong jaw and very, very straight white teeth. She gives me a bit Crystal. Maybe you'll see it next episode.
Maybe I will. TBD.
Yeah. Okay. And now, it's Taste.
She describes herself as modelesque, villainous, dark, punky, and edgy. I was literally sat on the tippy tip of my sofa, just going. Like a fucking seal at SeaWorld.
If you couldn't sense how chilling that noise was to witness in the studio, I feel very uncomfortable with the energy we've created in the studio today. That noise was truly chilling. I just need to go on record now and say I would give up a non-essential organ just for Taste to stand on my throat. When she came in...
I'd give up an essential one, Barney. That's how much I care.
When she came in, like, let's be real. We are long-time lovers, supporters and stans of our girl Taste.
Taste the rainbow.
I would say that, for me, that she was one of the most, like, exciting things about the announcement. Like, we found out that Taste was on it, like... If you don't live under a moist rock in London, then you have seen Taste. She has blown your mind. You've cried front row at one of her shows. Like, a meteoric rise to stardom. Like, the face, even if you look at the face from a year ago, like, she has always been the most gorgeous creature on this planet. But just there is something, I would say, in the past year to... Well, maybe not year, maybe like 18 months, 2 years. Just that, the face has been taken up a notch. And now it is like, every time she comes on the screen... I melt into a puddle of jism. It's like...
It's kind of almost like unfair that she should be in a competition with mortals.
Yeah. She is... We are all truly just existing and tasting there. Like,
and those fucking shoulders made her just look like a Thumbelina, teeny tiny doll.
If you thought you had main character energy, Taste came in. Like... Remember that we are merely just ensemble and she is there.
Yeah.
And then the thing that cracks me up, much like Bimini, is like you look at her and you're like, oh wow, a supermodel. And then she opens her mouth and she's like, I was just about
Poppity ping.
Papa. Like she just, the voice that comes out of her.
Suddenly
like,
we're going to go into the Vivian then. Hey girl.
Yeah, I realised that. I was like, can I do a Welsh accent? Probably not.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, that's lovely, yeah. She's just like, she's got... just the softest, sweetest voice. If you haven't noticed, we are all masturbating in the studio as we talk about Taste, just because we are obsessed with her. And someone that gorgeous shouldn't also just be that cute, like that sweet. And she, as I mentioned before with Ginny Lemon, like you scour the lands of London. Scour them. I mean, maybe don't go to Clapham because apparently there's big, but scour the lands of London and please try and find me one person that has a single bad word to say about Taste. Every single queen that we've ever been involved with is like, Taste is the sweetest angel on this earth. I believe she's AP hair. I mean, obviously, it's a human hair bundle. She's given you sort of, I would say, 42 to 46 inch of Remy Virgin human hair. That's my
there we
guess.
go.
Just absolutely gorgeous. And then next into the studio was Ms. Joe Black.
Ms. Joe Black, the cabaret queen of Brighton.
What I love about Joe Black is you cannot fuck with that sense of grandiose.
Well, because she never used to be full drag. It used to be very kind of like gender fuck, kind of like a man in a lovely face of makeup. But yeah, I guess that was a very long time ago, so she's kind of developed now. But honestly, you can't tell her nothing about that face. She looks like fucking sexy Zoltar out of Big, just like gorgeous, like vintage.
For anyone
gypsy.
That's not a Disney gay, you might not understand that reference.
You don't know what a Disney gay doesn't know what Big is. What? Big, the Tom Hanks film where he wishes.
I thought you meant Up.
Sure.
Sorry, that's how much of not of a Disney gay I am. But I also would argue that maybe Big's a Disney film. Excuse me. But I wouldn't know because I'm not Disney gay. So.
But yeah, she just looks like literal like a kind of like illustration from the 30s of like a fortune teller.
She is giving you the most gorgeous sort of like. She's giving you like Barnum Circus / Urte / like she just her references are so damn on point. Like she has such a clear narrative and trajectory of like what her drag looks like, and anything that is involved in this competition is going to be put into what the identity of her drag is, but it's not going to change what her drag looks like.
Oh, for sure. I mean? Yeah, that's just like a chrysalis that will not budge. Sure.
A chrysalis that will not budge. Yeah, but very into Joe Black. Now, Ms. Veronica Green. Now, I know you're going to have things to say about Ms. Veronica Green because when she walks in and serves you 80s prom princess that she made in her bedroom, I know you're going to have things to say, Lukey. Hit it.
The first thing I have to say is that in her confessional look, it made me think of Cracker in her original season, and which immediately makes me warm to her as a person because, as Barney knows, I can get deeply obsessed with the Queen sometimes. I thought I was in love with Jinx in her season. In Shay's original season, I felt like we are soulmates and no one can take that away from us.
Could I just please slip in here?
Yes.
When we were in New York and we went to see Cracker, this was deep in her juicy obsession with Miss Cracker when she was on her season. And this was before Aquaria had won. I'm sorry, spoiler, Aquaria wins.
Spoiler alert!
We went to see Miss Cracker was it Industry Bar in New York? Yeah, in Hell's Kitchen. And she, so this was like mid her season, and Lukey, even though everyone was sat down watching the show, Lukey was like on her knees in front of the stage, like crying the whole time that Cracker was performing, just sobbing, just getting photos, just like it was chilling.
We got there so early because we didn't want to miss it, and it was like happy hour. We were just drinking. What were we doing, like mojitos or something?
Something with
like
booze in it.
50 cocktails later, I'm literally there. Like, not even sobbing, just like continual rivers of tears running down my eyes. So there was the Cracker obsession. More recently, I've now started having dreams where I'm fancying Got Mick. So it's like, I'm deeply affected by this. So basically, to get to the point, I have an immediate soft spot for Veronica Green from the confessional, because I just think
So hide your kids, hide your wife, because she's going to be trying to fuck Veronica
No,
Green.
it's not sexual. It's just, it wasn't sexual with Cracker.
It wasn't not sexual, though.
It wasn't sexual with Cracker.
She gives me very, very much horny theatre kid, Veronica Green. That when it flipped, where she was like, I go from Gollum to Gorgeous, I was like, well, damn bitch.
There is no lies told here today. But I just feel like she's the one, well, actually Lawrence as well. I worry about their mental health. Because everyone else seems very confident, but she's kind of seems like, from her confessionals, like as if she's like, the way she talks about everyone's kind of like she's a fan in a room of drag queens, where everyone else is kind of like, yeah, whatever. She's just kind of like, oh my God, like she seems very much very green.
She's just,
Veronica Green.
Speaking of confidence, next up into the room is Astina Mandela.
She says she's the body queen. No tucking, no shaving, and no flaws that she can think of.
Rude.
I screamed at that. One entrance line. Rude.
Can I just say as well, when they first did the close-up of the face, like, I have been very lucky enough to have seen that face very, very close up. And she is absolutely gorgeous. She's really one of them queens as well that, like, this is very, it blows the tiny mind. Like, she is, I don't really think there's that much transformation between her as a boy and her as a girl.
No, she's barely got like a lick of eyeliner and a...
She's just gorgeous boy, gorgeous girl. And yeah, just like when they did that first close up, I was like, damn bitch.
Was her entrance outfit inspired by Azealia Banks' video?
Not that I know, but...
I feel like I can see her in that weird maxi waistcoat that just is a little bit too... office wear.
I think a lot of her outfits are inspired by like stage costumes of like black performers.
Yeah.
I think, as opposed to like, she's not really hitting you with like the page drag, which it's just again like UK Drag Race.
Real hair, real boobs.
Showing
Very
you
that.
Showing you like just a completely different side of drag. Like she's not interested in looking. She wants to look like an artist, like an artist on stage. Well, obviously, because she's worked with loads, she wants to look like an artist on stage. She doesn't want to look like
pig in a wig.
Wow, the tone seems very pointed. That seems really like a personal attack.
But yeah, I just wrote very cute, very confident.
Very confident.
Very confident.
Listen, know that you're a star and let the whole world catch up. That's my tea. What I felt for her is like this like tenacious energy that she's like, I'm here to win. I know that energy. I get where she's coming from. That she's just like, I'm not here to. She ain't here to make friends. She got enough friends. I ain't here to make friends. She's like, I'm here to kill it.
Yeah.
And also that nude lip. Are you mad? The nude lip. Fantastic.
You're obsessed with a nude lip.
I really am, and I didn't think I was, but I just felt like it kept on hitting me so hard in the gut so often in these entrances. I was like, damn, the nude lip. That's really it, isn't it? And also like, how did you feel about the look? Because I felt like it was giving me sort of like severe pilgrim, like
pilgrim.
Yeah.
I thought she was just like
robe fantasy.
What can I wear to the office, which will then translate into the office party this evening?
The amount of times
maxi waistcoat.
The amount of times they said infinite Arsenal as well. I was like, is no one going to pick up on this joke? But sure, whatever. The confidence was on 10. The look was there.
Well, she says, yeah, like you said, like she's not ever going to come in like a stage costume, like a showstopper, razzle dazzle costume. She's a real girl, and that's what we need to judge her from. Not that we're judging her, but that's what we need to talk about her from.
Yeah. Next in, we have Ahura.
She's shady. She's a lady, and she's an absolute pig. So obviously, we are on side.
Okay. Now, we don't play favourites here at Cliffhangers, but...
If you're from East London, we probably like you the most.
Ahura. Oh, my God. First of all, that stomp heard around the world. Like, never. I'm glad she said she was a pig, because she really fucking stomped in there, didn't she?
And I saw on her Insta that the reason she did Dorothy is because this is her embarking on a new exciting journey on her own. So that's why she's dressed as Dorothy.
And I also saw on Insta that apparently, like, her whole, like, childhood house, like, her whole family house, they've got all of this, like, Wizard of Oz memorabilia. Like, it's, like, a family, like, obsession. Like, they've got all this amazing stuff. So that's, like, a real sort of, like, her beginning.
Yeah, that's cute.
And it was absolutely stunning. Like, the
wig
execution of it.
Was wig chapel, delicious, gorgeous. The fucking boots. I remember I used to have some, like, ruby slippers. Well, like, little... They're from, I believe, Shelley's. Just
love Shelley.
A modest 2.5-inch heel in a lovely sparkly
I don't
thing.
believe we refer to that as a heel. 2.5.
But to have fucking thigh high, I believe my note was rubies up to your pubies.
Oh, fantastic! You heard it here first. You better get that on some merch, Ahura. Rubies up to her
But
pubies.
yeah, absolutely stunning. I loved the shirt as well.
Yeah.
Thought that was real sick.
And I believe as well, her and her mum, she is, the thing I love about Ahura is, again, like with Ellie Diamond, but in like a completely different direction. Ahura is a fashion designer. So like her entire sort of beginnings are in fashion, it was in construction. She obviously knows her way around a silhouette. Like, the thing I loved about it was such a smart take on Dorothy, because obviously Dorothy, like, that's a period look. That's giving you fun on the farm gingham. But she was like
milkmaid boringness.
But I imagine as well from we have worked with Ahura, and she has a very clear vision of what she wants. And I imagine with that wig chapel, like that wasn't, she could have just gone with like a cute vintage look, but it wasn't. Like, it was almost referencing like a more 60s silhouette, and it was just everything about it was fucking gorgeous, and it felt so current.
And when she forgot her little doggy. What's it
Oh,
called? Toto.
Forgot her doggy.
Yeah, she like threw it in the air, and she's like, "Oh shit, my dog!" And she had to go back and get him.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And
obsessed with her confessionals as well. Just think she comes across so cute.
Yeah, just such a sweet angel, and I just think that like she's someone that's from the first episode. She's someone that seems to me like she can tread well the path of. She be giving it to you. Let's be real. Like she's obviously going to come at you with the honesty. Like she's giving you some. She be giving you some real opinions. But also like you can tell that the heart's there.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Straight away,
Tart with a heart.
Start with an heart. And yeah, I was just very into the girls. And to be honest, you heard it here first. None of the girls are doing it like Ahura. That's what I said.
And then again, just to solidify my suspicions I'm going to say it's the production team making Tia have a bitch edit rather than her being a bitch. But just come in with the ag. Like, they're really trying to cement her as just like that she hates East London and everyone from East London. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I've never met Ahura, but from what I've heard, like, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It's like, so you've never met her, but you're ready to like call her out and say she's nasty.
Wow. And also, I believe your name is being mentioned in rooms that you haven't even entered yet. Wow, that's something, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the sign of a star, if I'm honest. But yeah, you can tell that's maybe a narrative that they're going to be pushing.
For sure.
This sort of Clapham versus East London, but unfortunately, I feel like they maybe should have put more Clapham queens in there.
Yeah, it's not really a fair fight.
Yes, it's a bit unfair, seeing as like 50% of them are from East London.
Well, so that's the final girl in. So now, Madame RuPaul Charles comes in.
The light that they use on RuPaul, that central beam, fantastic.
I've written Rue, a vision in tomato, looking like she works at Butlins.
Yeah, very giving you red coat glam. I want to go on record right now and say that I cannot believe that as we're entering a second season. Give the girls a fucking prize. Like, how can you? These girls are spending, like, they are taking out small equity loans in order to give the fantasy. Like, I don't know whether RuPaul remembers, but do you remember how much a fucking wig is? Do you remember how much a costume is?
No, RuPaul don't remember shit.
Like, drag is not cheap. Like, take it from the queens. Drag is not cheap. And what, you can't even be bothered. Find a way to give them an actual prize.
The joke is, so the prize is,
tell them the joke. You
fly to Hollywood and get this lovely web series. I'm not 100% sure on this. Our lawyers will have to fact check this. Please. But if I am correct, I believe that when the Vivian won, she had to share hers with Bagger because they did like Trump and Thatcher together. So basically, Bagger didn't win and she still got the prize. So it's absolutely fucked that they don't get some kind of monetary compensation.
And I think what's interesting to see as well from, I would say, in my personal opinion, from last series, like, Vivian was the clear winner. Like, I think that everyone is in agreement that Vivian should have won. She did win. But I would argue that, like, I don't think that we've seen, like, the development of the Series 1 queens at all. I feel like we need to see them being pushed, like, and I hope that comes for season 2, and then maybe it will sort of trickle down a bit for season 1 as well. But like, if you're not receiving like £100,000 or whatever as a prize, which is basically just going to pay back a fifth of the money that you spent to be on Drag Race. So if you're not getting a monetary prize, then I think that they need to be pushing them in the way of like sponsorship deals and getting them on the telly. And do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we haven't seen enough of the girls, but maybe that will come because the standard is so high in the second series. Maybe hopefully that will come with the second series.
I feel like when the last season finished, I saw kind of like Bagger and Vivian doing the rounds a little bit, like on kind of
like
Big
Netflix.
Fat Quiz of the Year and just things like that when they need celebrities. And Cheryl had like a campaign with Virgin Atlantic or something, I think. True. But yeah, like,
I just want it. I want it more. They are. Listen, drag queens are the rock stars of our generation. Like, I need bottles of wine with their face on. I need tissues. I need everything. I need all the merch.
All of it.
All of the merch.
One thing I will say is that at least Willem Belli will be glad to see that the Brick Crew have been wearing shoesies.
Oh, thank God. Also, give it up for the Brick Crew.
Who's my ginger guy from the American one?
I don't know. I don't really.
Bryce or something. I love him.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
I love him.
Brick Crew fame. So it was really nice to see the Brick Crew. Welcome back.
Health and safety means we do have shoes for you.
And then we headed straight into the mini challenge, which was the Wimbledon challenge, which was absolutely fantastic.
Celebrity photographer Kevin McDade was doing the honours.
Who has photographed such stars as Rita Ora, Jessie J, and Cheryl. It's like,
cool.
Oh.
Get us some international flavour, Jesus.
Edit. And I feel like, obviously, I can feel a lot of gay hate coming through the headphones right now.
Some gate, I believe it's called.
Some gate, as people are like, how dare you start on Cheryl. Literally, I feel Cheryl Hole.
Not Cheryl Hole, never Cheryl Hole.
No, I was going to say I can feel the anger of Cheryl Hole right now as I dare besmirch the name of Cheryl. But,
I have two main thoughts on this mini challenge.
Give me your two main thoughts, starting with the first one.
The first one is, what is wrong with the Brick Crew? They managed to lift Bimini okay, but who else was it?
Who is, like, literally as much as a bag of quavers soaking wet.
Yeah, I think it was, like, Ginny and someone else. They tried to lift them up, and it was literally, like, holding like a sack of like, I don't know.
I need to interject as a professionally trained dancer and someone that has attempted to lift Lukey. Being lifted is a real skill, and it is really about.
So you're blaming the gals?
100%. If you don't know, if you're not a performer, if you're not a dancer, if you're not someone that's been lifted, your natural reaction is to go with gravity. And
Joe Black was the other one.
Push your weight into the floor. If you're not a dancer, actually, someone lifting you is like, can be quite difficult, and it's like, that is not the Brick. I don't know whether they're dancers or what, but like, you can only lift someone as good as they wanted to be lifted.
It looked like, like just trying to like contain a trampoline full of jelly.
Yeah, it was
like
holding a baby.
And my second thought was, What the fuck was the styling prompt? Like, were they told to come, like...
This is what I wrote down as well.
Cherry and Astina, both in full tennis whites. Some people like Horror in kind of like in half sports gear. And then fucking Bimini's dressed as Tinkerbell. Like, what is the story?
From what we know from the gals and the sort of list that they received, like it's quite vague. And I think that clearly they weren't expecting a Wimbledon runway because... nothing they brought was runway shit. So that's the filler shit. And I think that they were probably like tennis wear. Do you know what I mean? Like just as a filler outfit, tennis wear or something. But yeah, or like even like workout gear. I don't know, like something tennis/workout.
They all had skirts, but then like Ahura's wearing like a pink leotard.
Yeah, so I wonder whether it was like more akin to like workout or whatever. And then they had like loads of tennis skirts or something.
And then Bimini's just like, fuck you, I'm a fairy.
Well, exactly. In big letters, I've written taste. Always. I think that's going to be a running theme on this podcast. Just came out, just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I don't want to just keep on harping. She's a very talented queen. I just don't want to keep on harping on about how gorgeous she is, but you're just going to have to deal with it.
Because, baby, she was born that way, so we can't shout it out too much.
And
how much can you applaud people for their natural God-given talent?
We've seen her in the confessionals. Gorgeous man, but she doesn't look like...
No, she does not.
She doesn't look like Tace in her confessionals, so there's such a transformation. Loved that Bimini came in them pleasers. Like, there ain't nothing that says Wimbledon like a 8-inch stripper heel clacking away. Every time that Cherry Valentine laughs, it runs through my body like a sweet oral orgasm.
I love her.
I know, honestly, absolute time. Just the amount that she laughed in that episode, in that mini challenge, just really. I was very into Astina's tennis whites. So crisp, so gorgeous on that.
So lovely,
the body, like, can we talk? I would like to every single week point out a different part of her body that I'm obsessed with. Like,
I think it's thighs this week.
The thighs.
We'll bring that up.
The thighs on the prize.
Bring it to the runway.
Just honestly, that body is truly carved by Jesus himself. Like,
Satan himself.
Yeah, truly. What I didn't appreciate, though, is that when Veronica was shooting the mini challenge, that shady lift music that they gave her, you know, they do like the... Just like, basically, I feel like that's going to be a running theme, that just like anything she does, they're like, she ain't got nothing between the ears, has she?
Oh, bless her.
I know,
yeah, as I said,
her.
I've got a real soft spot for her. I just feel like she's the underdog and she needs to be protected at all costs.
Oh, absolutely. I feel exactly the same. I just think she's just such a sweet little cutie. For me, Lawrence, question mark?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been not my winner. Because like if you think about like say like the other challenges like Matthew shooting them underwater and stuff, it's not like who's got the funniest picture of them like struggling to breathe underwater. It's like who looks like a fucking model underwater.
Yeah, it's a photo shoot, so you want like the actual image to be strong.
Yeah, like not one of the shows of her is her kind of like like kind of grimacing or like flinching away
being
from the
wacky.
balls. So which the like the same as like the girls not being able to like hold their eyes open underwater. So it just seemed a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
I did think Tace had the best picture, but I just can't tell if I've got a real opinion or if I'm just biased anymore.
Whether it's just that pure sexual energy that you feel.
If you're going to drop into a squat and split your legs with a tennis racket in between them, I'm going to be into it.
I'm going to be listening, all ears. Please, Cliffhangers viewers, do not sleep on Astina Mandela standing in ballet third whilst listening to RuPaul talk. Like, notice it, like, every time. That bitch is trained. She is giving you dance training.
What's ballet third? Like, 1.5?
It's like Abby Lee Miller herself was watching and she was trying to get onto the top of that pyramid. Ballet third is when you stand, like, you know, like first. Third is when you take your right or left foot into the position of the toe. Sure. She was just standing there in like a gorgeous little pageant angel. Very into it. Very Page age. Very well trained. And I just cannot get over RuPaul just constantly like anytime it's like bangers and mash. It's like what?
We get it. We are a joke to you.
Yeah, we are British. We understand. Why? Please stop shouting at us.
So then after they announced Lawrence is the winner, Ru mentions that it is been 50 years anniversary of the Gay Liberation Front in the UK, which was formed as an international activist movement for the liberation of queer people after the Stonewall riots the year before. That's a big sentence. And then in that vein, she says that the first runway is going to be British gay icons.
This is what I love about UK Drag Race. That obviously through like American Drag Race, we talk so much about like how vital things have been, like things like Stonewall have been for like the queer liberation movement and stuff. But like, I hope RuPaul knows how important it is for like people, like straight people. Like,
I'm sorry.
Straight people that are watching, and for like queer youth and stuff, to be putting on BBC like British gay icons.
I wish it had been called Queer Icons.
Same. So I have actually written that down.
Yeah. Because it's not all about the men, always.
But, as you will see in the choices, it never has been all about the men, and it never will be. So,
but just a kind of a bit of a bugbear of mine that the word gay also...
Gay!
...covers kind of... people use gay as what they should use queer for.
Yeah, 100%.
But also as me, cis head in the corner. Not going to talk about it too much. And... just before Rue announces that the second category is Queen of Your Hometown, did you notice? We be groundbreaking. Well, actually, they've done it in season 13 as well. But Rue now says, racers, start your engine and may the best drag queen win.
Because?
Trans people and because
non-binary folk literally like grow up, look at the actual what's happening in this. We just need to say as well, just an addendum. Although we are huge fans of Drag Race, we are 100% fans of drag first, and growing up in the East London drag scene, like the Drag Race does not at all really mimic what we see in the drag scene. And as I'm sitting here now in front of a legend icon star that is a female drag queen, and many of the drag performers that we know and love in London and across the world.
Shout out Georgie B, fancy shoes.
The fanciest. Our female drag queens we have trans, are non-binary, and that is the sort of drag that we'd like to see reflected in Drag Race. So it is a step, but I don't really feel like we should be celebrating literally just the bare minimum.
I think any step in the right direction is a good step. And also, just on that note as well, Ginny Lemon is actually non-binary.
I believe actually maybe Bimini is.
But so we don't want to misgender anyone or anything, but the fact that they are in drag, presenting as women, especially with a name like Ginny Lemon, calling herself the Heroes from drag, we're going to refer to her in drag as a she, sure. Same as all of them.
I really felt like in this workroom that Cherry Valentine is going to be giving us the narration. She just seems like straight from the jump. She just seems like she's really giving us that narrator edit. She's just like, she's there, she's commenting on everyone, and she's letting us know what's going on in the workroom. I felt like that was a very, very cute.
My first thought is, fucking damn, Daniel, back at it again with Tia being shady.
What did she say?
Well, she was like, to Veronica, oh look, you've gone from Kylie to Jason Donovan, and then Veronica like covered up her receding hairline. So I was very confused because Jason is a little bit receding, but I don't think of him as like known to be bald or like known to have bad hair. And secondly, aren't they all going from Kylie to Jason? Like, isn't that the whole point of them de-dragging? I don't understand why.
One of the best things about drag is the transformation, is feeling like, I can feel like an absolute shit pig before, but like, as long as you feel the fantasy afterwards, it's like, it's the art of transformation.
Well, and that's another thing I was going to say when I mentioned earlier that maybe Lawrence, I thought it was very sad and very relatable that like he didn't want to take his makeup off, or they didn't want to take their makeup off, because like obviously everyone feels gorgeous when they're in drag, and like I so get
not everyone. That is not everyone's.
Okay.
Not everyone.
Narrative Gia.
That is not my narrative.
But okay, well, speaking for myself, then like I 100% get that. Like when I've like all up in the gauge, that I feel like absolutely gorgeous, and then like sometimes it's just like it's just a bit depressing to take it off and just be like, oh, I'm just me again. And I just thought it was really sad to like see Lawrence say that, but I just hope that the kind of like sisterhood and stuff will help them get through this. I'm saying them because This is a drag queen with a male name.
Sure. I thought that hit hard, and this is another thing. This is why Drag Race UK is so brilliant because they do ease up on I think maybe it's something to do with not having a money prize. Like they can ease up on the competitive aspect of it a bit, but just like from the jump, like there is sisterhood. Do you know what I mean? Like straight away, people were like, "I get it." Like that is fucking relatable content. Like sometimes you come out of this fantasy where people are like, look at her, like absolutely gorgeous being, and then you take it off and you're like, okay, wow, like
I'm back to little old me
again. And especially as well, like because drag is so performative and you're like literally you are putting on an entire new skin, hair, teeth, nails, like everything, like sometimes when you strip it back, like that's your reality, that's your like that is so normative, so like it just doesn't feel glam in the way that you get to be through drag or something. So I just thought that what was so nice is that there was so many different times in this episode where they just really showed that like drag is about sisterhood. And I want to not say when we say sisterhood, that is not CIS. Like like that is the global queer family that every queer person belongs to.
For sure. And I think a really good example of that is like think of when Gia and Trinity both wanted to be Caitlyn Jenner, and it was like a whole beef. And this, when you see, it's like, oh, like two people that want to be Naomi Campbell, and it actually becomes a talking point for like the whole nation. Like so much, I've seen so much stuff like on the BBC, like since this and stuff. Like it's crazy that there aren't more like UK black gay icons.
Oh my god, 100%.
And the fact that this was turned into like a discussion that then became like a talking point that became like really positive is just so cute for us, rather than it just being fucking bitchy beef as usual.
And that's again another point about like British Drag Race that makes it the jewel in the jewel in the Drag Race crown, is that like that could have been a real moment to pit two queens against each other, but that was just like a moment where they both came together, and like they are both absolutely fucking gorgeous. It's not like one of them was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna be really embarrassed to be in front of the other, like pretending like trying to be a supermodel. It's like no,
they both fucking represented Naomi like in an amazing way.
100%. They are both just like absolutely beautiful, like both two beautiful black men that were just like, we're gonna represent our queen in like a way that we feel that is so central to like what we've built our drag on. And it was just like a really gorgeous moment that was about like you said, like commenting on the lack of like black gay representation that they grew up with, and then turn it into I think it was Astina that was like, do you know what, like hopefully we'll get to be them people, and then Taste being like, if I could just be, and I was like, bitch, you are already that person, like to so many people just from this first episode, like that. I thought that was such a nice moment of the show.
And as a sidebar, if anyone is listening to this, go and follow UK Black Pride on Instagram and Twitter. That's their handle on both of them. Although it is a shame that our fantastic Taste was not the honourable Dame Shirley Bassey.
I saw so much of that on Twitter. People like up in arms being like, come on, you should have been Shirley Bassey. But listen, if that...
Because that would have been a look.
But she's not a gay icon.
What? Shirley Bassey?
You better back the fuck
up.
I
refuse.
You better check up from the neck up. No, what I mean by that is like Shirley Bassey is a diva. She is that bitch. But she for me exists in an upper echelon of I see black gay icons as like the people that inspired you as you were growing up, and she wasn't present as I was growing up. Do you know what I mean? So like I feel like you can so clearly tell by Taste's aesthetic that she has informed her drag persona, and I thought that's what it was about. More people that have inspired you as like a young person, a young queer person growing up, and I feel like Shirley Bassey is like maybe just a bit outside of that. I don't know, but I did see a lot of that on
the twits.
A lot of that on the tweets.
I thought it was super cute about Ahura fangirling on Joe Black, because like,
oh my god, I love it when they like know each other from outside and they're like, oh my god, you've been such a huge.
Because I think it is obviously I've been out of the Burley cabaret scene for a good while now, but like,
and you chose to get your boobs done after you left that scene.
I know, ridiculous. Yeah. You could get a lot more swang on those long dangles
on the pendulums.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was like such a big deal that Joe Black was in there, because it is like, I guess, yeah, it is a bit more of the vaudeville Jinx Monsoony side, but like there's rarely any of that shown in Drag Race, and we haven't seen any of it in UK Drag Race yet. And he's like such a well-known figurehead of the scene. Yeah, so
not just in drag, but in cabaret, and that's like he's like really straddling so many sort of different like performance spheres.
Yeah, so that was super cute to see a horror.
I love that, but also.
She's a girl's girl.
You hit that shade rattle because I think Ahura is in her young 20s, and for Ahura to have been going to the shows when she was
Why is Miss Shade not
before
working?
she started drag. The maths ain't muffin, Joe. It's not added up, I'm sorry. Also, in one of my notes, I've got Bimini, Mel C, ? Just because she was hitting that Lux sportswear in her boy drag. And I just am obsessed with it. But we're going to take a short commercial break now. And then after that, we're going to be heading on to the runway to talk about the looks. So let's take it over to our sponsors.
All right there, mate. You look like you could do with some help on your barnet. You should come on down to Truffle Pig Wigs. We got long wigs, short wigs, straight wigs, curly wigs, big wigs, small wigs, anything you want wigs.
That's right. Go to trufflepigwigs.co.uk and use code Cliffhangers. That's Cliffhangers for 15% off your next order. We here at Truffle Pigs and Cliffhangers really just want to boost the importance of a queer family and what that means to queer people in London and in the world. And we are turning our sights this week to our beloved Queer Pleasure Palace, Dawson Superstore. Now, they need your help. They have started a Patreon, so they're going to need you to head over to their Instagram so that you can join their Patreon and give them a boost, give them the support that they need. It starts for as low as £5 a month, and that's to help support an independently run queer venue during the COVID crisis. You will also get your name on the Dawson Superstore website Hall of Fame. Now, there is different sort of levels. There's the Mimosa, the Pornstar Martini, the Prosecco, going anywhere from £5 to, I believe it's £100. And you will get a shout out on that Wall of Fame. Now, we all know how important it can be to keep the energy of queer venues alive. So please head over to @DSuperstore, that's their Instagram, @DSuperstore, for Dawson Superstore's Instagram, and go check out their Patreon and go help queer venues in East London alive. Welcome back, babies and babies. This is Cliffhangers with Truffle Pig Wigs. So our first introduction to RuPaul. Can we talk about these rainbow pleats? Absolutely. Oh, it's stunning.
I wasn't featuring it.
You weren't featuring it.
No.
Do you know what? As an upwardly mobile queer male, I just anything rainbow, I'm like, wear it to Pride. I don't give a fuck. Like, you could literally be in like a rainbow smock, and I'm like, I'm fucking here for it.
It's a bit on Don Linné.
Oh, a bit Don Linné for you.
Oui.
Oh, please. Sorry, if you could just stop wearing rainbow stuff because it makes the straight people feel uncomfortable.
As usual, Michelle looks absolutely fucking gorgeous. I doubt this is his vintage touch doing her hair since it's in England, but it still looked absolutely beautiful, I thought.
She just, honestly, she ages like a fine Merlot.
Think of her back in the day with those just like...
Oh my God, the titties
like,
sitting up by her ears.
And just like those like ridiculous
the
like...
plaque necklaces.
Yeah!
Just like dom top. We get it. You've been near gay people,
Stop
Michelle.
stealing my drag name.
Yeah, like, get over yourself. But yeah, she just looks absolute. That was like my first note. Just like fucking stunning.
Especially, sorry, this is different, but in season 13 with that fucking grey streak. Sensational. Love to see Graham. Last year, I was
a literal gay icon.
Yeah.
And did you know that Graham Norton's ex-boyfriend is who?
Who?
Tina Burner.
No!
He dated Tina Burner!
Really?
Yeah, the hot goss. Tina Burner. They dated for quite a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Very weird. As I live and breathe Elizabeth Hurley, can you believe? Oh, as a judge.
I didn't know she was going to be so funny.
So funny.
It's like she had put in Rue's earpiece by mistake because she's coming with all the fucking one-liners. Rue ain't saying shit.
Yeah.
Especially 10 points for, do I make you horny, baby? To she's self-reference, and she's honestly
so meta.
And the fact that she was like, well, we'll get to that, but like standing up for Bimini and stuff like you're being too harsh. I just absolutely loved her. Aging gracefully. Obviously, she's got a bit of the bow, but not too much that she looks like a psycho. Not. Just like absolutely, what a British icon.
Yeah, very, very well placed work on her face. Absolutely gorgeous. And also, if I could ask you to move over to Instagram, follow not only Liz Hurley, but also follow her absolutely gorgeous son, who we are obsessed with. Oh my god, no wonder she's so into drag, because the face on that girl, gorgeous. And just an important moment to point out that although Liz Hurley is absolutely gorgeous, she is a Tory.
Wow.
Yeah. So what we're going to do for the runway, we are going to be awarding truffles out of 10. So that's obviously 1 truffle if the outfit ain't really hitting for us, but 10 truffles if for some giant leap of mankind it is really ticking all of our boxes.
Just because we're Truffle Pig Wigs, just in case you've forgotten.
Yeah. So for this runway, they have been asked to show 2 looks. They have been asked to show a British gay icon and also their hometown look. Now, before we head into the runway, Luke, I want to ask you, what would be your British gay icon?
I have thought a lot about this.
Same.
And I think I will have to end up on an amalgamation of all 5 members of Steps.
Okay.
I just love them. It'd be cute to maybe like divide my body into 5 vertical sections and do each section a different member in a different video.
If you could only pick 1 Steps member, though, who would you be? And why is it Faye Tozer?
Because of the dreads. You know it's the dreads.
Remember that actually Faye Tozer follows us on Instagram. So.
She does. Yeah. And what about you, Bunny?
As mentioned before with Lukey, like they said UK gay icons, which I think actually is like kind of a bit gross to say, and I wish there had been queer icons, because that just completely opens up the perspective of like who they're talking about. But I feel like maybe the 2 queer icons, unfortunately, who are both gay white men, for me, that I think of immediately are George Michael and Boy George.
Oh, George! I didn't even think of Astopolopoulos.
Again, I'm here for the drags. Like, obviously, Boy George is in full high heel drag at all times.
Oh, I'd love to see you in like a real like 2000s like wrap around, clear shades, shaved head, George like crashing into fucking
Specsavers.
Yes.
Or was it Snappy Snap?
Oh, Snappy Snaps. Yeah. Something alliterational.
Rest in peace, our angel. Honestly, I'd give you blonde updo. I'd give you black sunglasses. I'd give you a bottle of Stolly and a cigarette, and I'd give you the most fantastic Patsy that you'd ever seen. Because if that ain't a gay icon, then I ain't a fagottini. I can't tell you nothing. Let me ask, what would be your hometown look? We are both London girls. What would you be
from my hometown? Okay, well, my first thing is because I'm a Grove gal. That's Labrador Grove, if you don't know. So, if you're not aware, we have the Notting Hill Carnival there every year, which is a celebration of West Indian culture. But as a white woman, that may be un poco appropriativo. So then my second idea was some kind of fucking fuck the establishment Guy Fawkes fantasy, and like big hat, big coat, boots up to my fucking puss, and then maybe some kind of like, you know, like the Paris Hilton teeny tiny dress. Imagine that with kind of like LEDs of like fireworks on them or something, like pyro coming out of me. Yeah, I want to be like Guy Fawkes burning down the Houses of Parliament. Fuck you, Boris fantasy.
For my hometown look, I would definitely go like straight up 80s Camden punk. I'd want to be giving you sort of Susie Sue. I'd want to be giving you the slits, like just like down the lock. The only thing when I was thinking about this though is I was like, costumey, but whatever, fuck them. As we have seen that these Americans really will tell you about what British culture is. So as that is to be seen. So let's start with the first one, and the first one on the runway giving you gay icon is Joe Black.
And he's given you Monsieur David Bowie, R.I.P.
How did you feel about this?
I'm not like a Bowie stan like most people seem to be. I thought the face was gorge.
Yeah,
always. I really enjoyed the colour of the hair, the colour of the suit, the contrast of them together. But I was not featuring the maxi skirt suit, and I agreed that the colours are Bowie palette, but it's not like instant Bowie.
The thing is, like, to literally anyone, I don't know whether it was Michelle that really went hard on this critique, like, to anyone that literally knows anything about Bowie, that is like such a this is why Twitter went fucking mental afterwards. Like, that is such a clear Bowie reference. That's like,
yeah, but that's like he didn't have finger waves, though, did he?
I know, but that's like
it's orange hair and a blue suit, but like that's the extent of the.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Like, she was seeing the runway through the guise of Joe Black. She was giving you floor length because she wasn't going to come in a suit because that's not her fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, and so for me, like, watching that, I was like, this is mental. Like, how are you going to stand in front of someone and say that doesn't read Bowie? Like, what does he need to do? Put a fucking gold circle on his forehead? Like, he is giving you...
We could have given you the hairstyle and then gone different with the clothes or something. I don't know.
I do understand what people are saying because it wasn't like vulgar. It wasn't like, I am in a David Bowie
It wasn't
costume.
impersonation.
No, it wasn't impersonation. But then, like, where's the safe spot? Because then they would have been like, it's costuming.
Yeah.
So that was.
How many truffles?
I gave it 6.
I gave it 6.
Just because, regardless of, like, we have been like sort of like saying about how much of it was a reference to David Bowie. Actually, I wasn't that crazy about it. Just as a look. Like, I just wasn't.
Yeah, I enjoyed the colour story, but that was kind of it.
Okay, and next up we had Astina Mandela, and they were serving on the runway Naomi Campbell. What were your thoughts?
So what I've written down is, when she turned the corner, just gorgeous, very soft, very natural, very human. Although, for her, both her and Taste, like, neither of them is, like, what I think of if I think of, like... Naomi Campbell. Like, I would have gone Vivienne Westwood falling over on the giant shoes, or I would have gone just like hair down to my feet, legs up to my forehead, and just like fucking mini dress, like giving you legs and hair. Like, I recognise the reference it was, but it didn't scream Naomi to me. It just looked like a gorgeous woman.
I get that, but I feel like, unfortunately, with the choice, the first thing that I thought when they both said that they were going for Naomi is that Naomi does not have a referenceable look. She's a model. She's a literal. Her job is to wear clothes.
Yeah.
So I think that even though that was the only thing that I could have, the only one that I like really went to was the Vivienne Westwood plaid. But I don't even know whether people. That's so specific that she.
But it's like a cultural moment.
But she would have had to get like in order to make that work. She would have had to get the shoes to make it work.
No, you could have just got like any platform shoe, been dressed in tartan, and just sold the fantasy.
But that is the only. But then you're also saying that as someone that has like a knowledge of 90s runway moments. Like, that's not.
I actually met her in the 90s when I was a child, and she was very, very nice
I met her in the
to me.
2010s. She like that. That's someone that is like actually. That's a moment for you that you understand, but I don't actually think that that's like culturally that known.
Really?
No, that dress from the Pia Paolo Valentino show is couture. Like, that is thousands of pounds of tool. Like, so who can have access to that? And I thought, actually, it's a really fucking smart choice to the hair back in a ponytail, very simple, very chic, very elegant, and you can really just be getting like a sort of 40-inch synthetic and throwing that back.
And she really embodied just like
the elegance, the grace. And I gave her 8 out of 10.
I'd give her a 7.
Okay. And then we head on to Ginny Lemon. My first note is just this mental.
I wrote, great person to do, very much enjoyed the presentation. Like, Kate Bush is fucking iconic, and just like that level of just like nutty could only be embodied 100%. By Ginny.
And I saw someone put on Twitter that it was Kate Bush via the League of Gentlemen. Absolutely. But one thing I would say is that regardless of, I liked the concept of it, but I felt like the attention to detail in the actual outfit.
I felt like it was, just the essence of Kate Bush, and I know you're not meant to do this, but I am probably, not by choice, but just not going to hold her to such a higher standard with the clothing, because I know she's not about that. So for me, that was just like, yep, you're giving me Kate Bush, you're embodying her like spirit, and I'm at peace with that.
I think for me, I would just like to see like more of like an elevated version of Kate Bush. Like I know that like maybe elevation is not where Ginny Lemon has come for Drag Race.
I don't know if that's where Kate Bush is coming from.
No, I know, but like what I don't want to see is I don't want to see an imitation of Kate Bush. Like if your drag aesthetic is heightened, is hyperbolic, is cartoonish, then I would have quite liked to see a cartoonish version of Kate Bush, and I would have liked to see like a huge teased out wig. I would have liked to see like, I don't know. I just wanted to see. I think
more crazy.
Yeah, like an elevated version of Kate Bush. She
All
did.
right. How many truffles?
I went 5.
Okay, I'll give her a cheeky 6. I think I'm voting very modestly so far. Tia Coffey, Alan Turing.
The first thing that I thought with Tia Coffey when she said that she was doing Alan Turing, even though it is a very strange choice for a queen on the main stage, I thought that I was so glad that for the young girls that might be joining us for Drag Race, it's a real chance to spotlight like a queer icon. I gave Tia Coffey for the ill-fitting suit and wig. I gave them a 6.
Well, my notes were, I got what she did, just not really into the ensembles, a bit on the nose with like the rainbow binary code in a man's
I
suit.
thought that's a Pride outfit that's been recycled.
I think it would have been, even just to add like a 40s element, or just something else, just to make it not just you in a rainbow wig and a rainbow suit.
Rainbow wig and a rainbow suit? I don't think.
Yeah, I just thought a bit on the nose, but like shout out to like just going beyond the fluff of gay icons.
Next to the stage we have Her Royal Highness Bimini Bomboo Lash.
And representing HRH Princess Julia.
Oh my God, can I just say, I actually screamed out loud because, like, listen, if you're maybe from outside of East London, maybe Clapham perhaps, like, there are certain people within history that are literal gay icons, and to be immortalised on a hetero BBC stage like that, someone like Princess Julia, the big PJ, like, she deserves it, and I screamed, and it was just... Oh my God, I was so happy.
And we know that she's good friends with Bimini, and I just think it's like the sweetest, like heartfelt dedication to your friend and like
who is a literal
hero.
Gay icon as well.
Yeah. It's just like, I think the whole thing is just so adorable, and it's like it like really warmed my heart for both of them. I thought it was so sweet, and
100%.
I thought she looked absolutely sick. Another weekday wigs. For a second, I thought it was one of ours, and I was like, oh
wig,
no.
That wig. As soon as I saw it, I was like, damn, bitch.
Yes,
like,
bitch.
And I need to know as well. In fact, maybe this is something that we message right now. I need to know: was she wearing Archive Westwood? Do we think?
No, she sourced. I saw on her Instagram. She sourced the fabric herself, and she almost didn't do it because she couldn't. I think she couldn't get the right tartan, or she ordered it and then they ran out or something.
Yeah. Oh,
and then she was like, "Oh, maybe I should have done something else." But fuck it, I love this look, so I just did the best I could. But
that sort of the draping of it, like I just thought she looked fan-fucking-tastic, and it didn't feel costumey. She just looked like a gay icon. She looked like,
I just wrote she looked fucking sexy, and she more
and
than
when
anything.
Liz was like, I find her very
cool.
I find her very sexy. It was like, why are you surprised?
Isn't
This
it?
is Bimini. So yeah, for that I gave 6 truffles out of 10.
Yeah, I'll give like a sevs maybe.
Sevs, okay.
Yeah,
And then we're heading on to it's our girl. It's the
Cherry.
Valentine. So I feel like I thought this was very clever. I thought that maybe Freddie Mercury might be someone that people that might be a bit overdone. He's like obviously one of the biggest like queer icons ever. But I thought that to do the gender bending Freddie Mercury, I just thought it was clever. Just the whole I just thought the whole execution of it was fantastic. Apart from, can I tell you, Cherry Valentine's Inner Saboteur?
Go on.
That white bit of elastic around her waist in the shorts.
Oh, I didn't even clock.
Oh my God. So her shorts or dress or whatever that was had like an elasticated waistband and it had a cord in it.
No.
And I thought, Cherry Valentine, take it out! Take it out!
Because neither me and Barney are Queen fans or stans in any way, really. So
sorry, but please don't speak for me. I am a Freddie Mercury fan, though.
I didn't say you weren't. I said we're not Queen fans, so please don't interrupt me. But yeah, my notes for this, I thought we would be maybe opposing, but I just literally wrote perfect, classic, well done,
beautiful.
face beat.
Can I say, I don't want the vagina to froth too much, but
it's frothing. You can't stop the froth. Can't stop the froth.
But have you noticed how much Cherry Valentine is giving Ms. Cracker?
No.
Oh my God! Now that I've said it, and you will see it, it's mental. Even in drag, that like the angles of her face, like at some points it could be Ms. Cracker.
Really? In anything, I'm getting Raven just from that.
Raven.
The fucking cheeks on the bitch.
Oh, I just thought, and do you know what? One of my first things I wrote was enigmatic.
Wow.
She's like, and also, do you know what I love about her? She not only is she a girl's girl, she's a drag fan. She is. You can tell straight up that, like, not only from her references and also the way that she interacts with the other girls, she is a fan of drag.
I just fucking love her. I want to be friends with her. I haven't had a Darlington friend yet. I feel like the accent would look good in me crew.
Okay, let's head on to Veronica Green, who took on Boy George.
So yeah, literally at this point, I was like, is no one going to do Boy fucking George? And then she came out, and then I was like, do you know what? That's a really, 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 really good fancy dress of Boy George. But I think for Drag Race main stage, I'd like to see a feminized fantasy of it rather than just a straight up Boy George. Yeah. I wish it was more than... I wish it was a drag
Oh, sorry, hang on
version.
1 second. Cherry Valentine, how many truffles out of 10?
Like 8.
I went 7.
Okay.
7. Sorry, are you just making these up on the fly?
Yeah.
Did you not write it down? Oh, I've written it down. Some of us have done our homework, bitch.
Please, I've read 9 pages of notes. Don't test me.
Boy George, I thought... do you know what? I actually thought... I get your point about the fancy dress, but I think actually the fashion was quite great on it. I think that...
Yeah, it was like a spot-on impersonation.
In terms of the detail of that sort of like... Not even early romantics, but that sort of like early iteration. That was such a unique look at the time.
Do you really want to hurt me?
Yeah, and I think that actually like she really... Although one thing I would say is that...
go on, I dare ya.
It did kind of blur the boundaries of different sort of like eras of George, but that's really none of my business. I thought it was good, but do you know what? This is why I changed who I would do afterwards. Watching Veronica Green do Boy George and do what I thought was a detailed and nuanced approach, then I was like, you know what, actually, Boy George is... I wouldn't want to do Boy George because I wouldn't want to get that reaction of the... It's just like not hitting how I'd want it to.
And I don't know how we're ever going to find out if they're telling the truth about the shoes or not.
But also, my main point was... Wear more makeup. Like I really thought the beat was very pared down for what would be a Boy George. Like
But that's what I mean. It's like it's like a boy dressing up. Like let's see a girl.
Yeah. So I went for 5 truffles for that.
I give her like a 6.5 because like the attention to detail was there, but there just wasn't the glamour / sex appeal for me.
Okay. Then we head on to the high whore herself. It's a horror. Now, Ahura went for Vivienne Westwood, which I thought was a inspired,
formidable,
intelligent, and just fucking great choice. Now, if you're someone who, I believe that when she entered, she said that she is a fashion queen from the London scene. Actually, she said from the northern scene, but I feel like her usual tagline is from the London scene, but maybe because she'd said that she was a northern queen that she had to go with that. But I feel like if you're going to say that you're a fashion girl, like your reference, she so clearly does not need to swing her bollocks around about being a fashion queen. Like,
wow, we're really calling her out for having bollocks.
I believe she's got a hefty set. There, I said it. I don't really think many people can come for her, to be honest, about the fashion references. So I'm really glad that she picked someone that was an iconic fashion figure. And for me personally, there is no more iconic fashion.
There is
designer.
no other. Yeah, I just wrote that she just did this justice. I saw on the Insta comments that someone was trying to come for her, being like, Vivienne would never wear that makeup. And then Ahura was literally like, why don't you check out the this year's show of this season and tell me nothing? So it's like, you can't tell her shit. Like, she's done it for a reason because she knows what the fuck she's talking about. Like, as if you'd come for her in any way. Like, yeah, she... absolutely killed the fucking Vivienne Westwood.
That is literally so fucking dumb. First of all, like, now Isabella French works with Westwood, and all of the beauty looks that she gives her are like the classic sort of like Izumaya, like out of the box. Like it's not like Westwood is ever serving smoky influencer soft glam. Like
no, but they were saying like for actual Vivian rather than the models. And then she was saying, "How dare you, Vivian?" Literally came out at the end of this show like this.
I was literally gonna say, like, she has literally worn like David Hoyle artwork like on her face. Like the one takeaway that I would say from any Westwood show is that they use experimental makeup, which is why they're now working with Izumaya. Like, that's such weak dick comment.
Do not come for me.
Exactly.
Speak to Kimchi.
When I looked at her as a vision, because she was a fucking vision, there was
so long, so tall,
so many elements of what builds the Westwood brand. This is an intelligent queen that understands fashion, and so
yeah, literally just like one sentence, smashed it.
Yeah.
Although Vivian Westwood babysat my friend Sandy a couple of times, and she said she was a fucking bitch. So
of course,
fuck that bitch.
Who likes their fucking babysitter? Come on. And I gave Ahura, I gave her 9 truffles out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give her a 9.
Okay, now we move on to
sister. I've spent my whole life thinking Dusty Springfield was American. I didn't know she was a UK icon. And I feel godsmacked by that. I've been listening to Dusty all of today, actually, because she's been in my head. And I'm so glad she's
English. Did you feel like you just don't know what to do with yourself?
And then my second thing, I saw on Sister's Instagram that Dusty refused to play for segregated audiences.
She refused to play for segregated audiences. That is fucking fantastic.
Sick.
Congrats.
Yes.
Congrats, Dusty.
Hold up. You're welcome, Dusty.
And that was in the 60s when I imagine that a lot of your co-performers were still a piece of garbage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just thought that, like, first of all, that's obviously like such an elevated, dragged up version of her hair. Like,
she looked sensational. Absolutely fucking beautiful.
Like, I wouldn't say she's like painting to look like her. There's no sort of like Alexis Stone transformation.
Yeah, no, like illusion.
Yeah, but I just thought that she looked absolutely fantastic, and I just knew that going down the route of being like of hitting some realism for the gals just probably wasn't going to hit that.
I think I'm crushing a bit hard on Sister, to be honest.
Please, crush away. I think how many truffles was Sister?
7.
I gave 7 too. Okay, let's head on to Ellie Damon. Now, I've always said that if I ever apply for Drag Race, that Lily Savage would probably be my
snatch.
My snatch, El Snatchio, just because obviously a literal one of the greatest gay icons ever. And how did you feel about her, Lily Savage?
Well, I feel like literally Michelle hit it on the nose. It's like Lily Savage fucking wishes. Like, it's not her fault that she's so gorgeous, but like Lily is a hard-faced, tacky dress bitch. Like, I'd like to see a lot of a trashier outfit, like pussy pelmet skirt, 97% harder face.
Yeah.
But again, like, it's not Ellie Diamond's fault that she paints like a fucking goddess.
That's what I was going to say.
And it's such a great choice.
One thing that I absolutely fucking love is when you see a gorgeous gal, gorgeous queen paint gross. And I really think that this was her choice.
It's like when the Vivian did the Queen in that first episode. And it was just like, oh, bitch, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like actually when she came out, like it was the gasp heard around the world. Like, gorgeous.
Don't make me say strawberry shortcake cutie pie angel goddess again.
But I would have loved it if that she'd taken this chance to really like weather her face and just give you like Lily Savage battered drag.
That fucking hard face bitch.
They're marionette lines, like literally, like
that nose.
I would have loved for her to go into a tiny, like sateen pink miniskirt with
ratty old fishnets.
Yeah, like I want to see Lily Savage via the medium of Cat Slater. Like,
yeah, literally, it's down the working men's club.
Yeah, like piled into a little dress. Yeah. Like, and I would just...
Do we need to do a Lily Savage fantasy? I think so.
I think maybe we'll start doing a Lily Savage podcast. We're clearly obsessed. But yeah, I would have loved for her it to just been a bit more gross.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt too polished for me personally. But I did give her a 7, and I am obviously a lifelong.
I'll give her a 7 as well.
It was fantastic. Okay, we move on to
Taste the Rainbow.
Taste the Rainbow. Okay, now I feel like we might have slightly contrasting opinions on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, go on then.
I have a stinking suspicion that you didn't go crazy for it.
I didn't go crazy for it. I thought, as much as I'm obsessed with Tace, I thought she just literally looked like Tace stomping down the runway in a 50-inch wig.
But at what point did they ask for an illusion of the person?
I don't know, but just like still, like even like the outfit she wore didn't scream Naomi to me. I just wish that someone had like brought a fucking toy phone and just dashed it at RuPaul's face.
Although I'm glad they didn't, because they made a joke about the phone on both of them.
Yeah, but that's probably, if they had the phone, they wouldn't have made the joke. But yeah, like obviously, like can't fault the bitch. She looked gorgeous. The outfit was right, but to me, it wasn't.
Was right. That was my main takeaway. Like when she was coming down that runway, she was really giving you the confidence and elegance and sexiness of Naomi Campbell.
I just saw Taste, to be honest.
But then
with Astina, I felt more of the Naomi vibe. I really, really don't want to say anything bad about Taste because I thought she looked sensational, but I just felt like it was just Taste giving me a Taste runway.
But here's my 2 pence to offer you. How much of what you see and view as Taste, how much of that is so close to Naomi that you can't separate it? Because that's what I felt. I'm not saying she imitates Naomi at all, but what I'm saying is the elements that you have, the elements that you you associate with Naomi is also what you associate with Taste.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Taste, but I wasn't feeling Naomi from here. I was just feeling Taste, and I guess that's just like 10 points to Taste's brand for being so on point, because I was just like, that's just classic Taste.
I gave Taste a 9. 9 truffles out of 10 for this. I just thought it was...
I'll give her a 7.5. Not to do with how she... If it was to do with how she looked, probably higher, but for the Naomi Campbell link, I'll give her a 7.5.
But what I loved about this is that I don't want to see any of the queens. This is what I didn't like about our sweet angel Veronica Green. I don't want to see any of the queens dressed up as someone. That was my drag through the medium of Naomi Campbell. And that's what sort of Taste. That's why it was a 9, maybe a 9.5.
Woohoo! Now, back to the runway. Queen of your hometown.
Back to Ms. Joe Black.
Josephina Noir.
Josephine.
So this is Brighton. The Brighton Pavilion, to me, looks like Aladdin's Palace of Agrabah. It's giving me very Middle Eastern, almost Indian vibes. And it's definitely white.
It is yellow. The entire...
Google it. I want to see a picture.
The entire pavilion is yellow.
I've literally looked at it. It's white. It looks like the Taj Mahal. But I thought, like, when she was like, all I need now is seagulls shitting on me, I was like, oh, Joe, like, imagine if just having, like, a fucking seagull on a wire with a bit of white shit on your shoulder. That would have been like, so Brighton and so won it. Also, screaming at Liz Hurley coming for him with his historical accuracy.
Oh, my God,
she sounds like my uncle. Like, actually, that's a bit more muslin breast heaving, so...
Yeah, I mean, there is one thing to be said about the judging panel, and they just have the fucking audacity. I can't remember what she said, but
she said you're dressed more like
more
Elizabethan with the ruff, and it's actually more of a Regency period, which is like muslin dresses and heaving bosoms rather than like a high neck. So I get what everyone's saying. Like, yeah, it was like a wow. It was like a wow sort of showstopper, shiny gold outfit, but it wasn't Brighton. I'd like to see the more trashy seagull shit, like arcade crackhead side of Brighton. To be honest,
aren't you the arcade?
I guess so.
My just one comment was, "You're gonna steam your outfit."
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I ain't an iron now.
So wrinkled! It did need to steam. Let's head over to Ms. Stina Mandela.
So I wrote down that get the vibe, love the vibe. Obviously, even though like, she's pre-warned us that her vibe is more real girl, low-key. But for me, I want to be wowed, and a real girl low-key isn't really wowing me. It's not like a sensation. Like, I thought she looked sick and I got it, but it wasn't one of my faves.
Do you know what? I thought that I completely get where she's coming from. Obviously, like we know those girls. I liked the coat. I'd like to have seen the energy of the coat brought into the rest of the outfit. So, can I just say I was absolutely obsessed with this silhouette now.
Yes, I wrote congrats on the silhouette on my notes.
And Veronica Green makes everything she wears, so this entire construction has been done by her.
Oh, she does?
Yes.
Wow.
And I believe her hair is vanity. I believe she's, for the Australian queens out there, I believe she's doing wigs by Vanity.
Oh, I'd love a wig by Vanity.
Oh, can we, maybe one day we'll get into a conversation about the mixies. If you are a drag queen that cares about looking like Karen Walker of Will and Grace fame, then you need to get into the world of mixies. But that's another conversation for another time. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I just wished it was a slight bit more conceptual, and I just wish that maybe like Veronica's like gloves had like thorns on them, or there were like layers to her dress that she could just a bit more.
Something else, sure.
A bit more rosy than just like.
I didn't know that Lancashire Rose was a thing.
Oh, well, it's definitely a thing.
I didn't know. To create that sort of cloche silhouette with...
Yeah, it was wild. It's like
that,
50 metres between the waist and the hem.
Yeah, absolutely. I just really thought that was like a fantastic look. And I gave her 7 truffles out of 10.
I'll give her a 7, yeah. It was nice enough, but it could have been so much cooler if she had just really like
100%.
leaned into it a bit more.
100%. So our next girl is our baby, Sahura.
Nottinghamshire.
When she said, "What's so special about my hometown, me?" I was
Yes, congrats, bitch. Although I was really seeing more of a Peter Pan, but it's because there's a little green hat makes me think Pietro Pan.
It was just very, very gorgeous Sia in a little bus driver. First of all, she's always giving you that, and then she's always just giving you that fucking high glam. So Sia in a little bus driver.
I'd like to see myself in a bus driver pussycat.
I'd like to see it in a bus driver. I just feel like she is really, like, again, I don't mean to blow any more smoke up this bitch's ass, but, like, she
charges for that, I believe.
She took a look and just gave it, like, a really fucking clear fashion direction. And I didn't feel like, even though it could have so easily been so costumey, like, come on. Like, she's basically in a fancy dress costume.
I am not mad at a costume, though.
But the cut of it, everything, like, the way it was sculpted, to her fine physique, like it was just, again, I'm gonna have to just, every time she comes on, I'm just gonna say it was so smartly done, and I just loved it.
She was gorgeous. Yeah, for
and
me, all I saw was Peter Pan, so I'll give the bitch an 8.
8 truffles out of 10. Yeah, and then we head smoothly on to Sister. Absolutely loved it.
There's absolutely no way in hell IMO that this should have been in the bottom. That was like pure, just fucking Liverpool girl living her life out on the town. Like Michelle said, she should have worn slippers. Like I could see some little pink Uggs on the bottom, but I feel like if she had worn Uggs, maybe she had got red for not wearing slippers. So seeing her with those like crying eyes, I thought she just looked absolutely beautiful. Like I always see like beauty in the horrible.
What really jarred me is that, like, clearly a Liverpool queen has such, like, a personal perspective on what the Liverpool girls are like. And I was just like, why is literally anyone on this panel going, like, I get that if you're like, do you know what, like, I didn't get it, or, like, it didn't read well, or whatever, but they were, like, questioning her over what was a Liverpool
queen. Like, she's from Liverpool.
Yeah, I was like, why are you, like, that was for me just, like, it was very eggy. Obviously, we'll get to people being eliminated, but, like, it was very eggy that they were even going for that. So I went 8 truffles out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
Loved it.
100%, literally.
And just, like, the whole narrative, the rollers, everything. Ellie Diamond, who is giving you the Dennis the Menace latex fantasy.
Dundee in its finest.
Yeah. Thoughts?
My first note was Betty Page sex doll. Any kind of black-haired fetish sexy woman is 50 out of 10 for me. So I was like all over this shit. Again, we got the peekaboo puss. Again,
peekaboo puss, but
that's
remember
2 now.
She made this. I did give her an 8 out of 10 because I just thought it was
I'll
great.
give her an 8.5.
And then the finale, is Taste. She came on 2D and then she turned around. And when I saw that she was hitting it with that softer beat without, like, it was so much less, not, like, she's not a severe painter at all, but, like, when she was hitting us with that softer beat that was, like, I think it was maybe, like, without the liquid eyeliner and, like, a heavier lash. Look, boy or girl, take
Fuck me.
Take me on yours. Like...
Well, yeah, so I've seen that. So her outfit was inspired by when the Blondes did their Disney villain stuff.
Yeah, which is
really
like fucking great reference.
Absolutely sick,
and I
sick
actually
reference
saw
for
that.
Taze.
And did you also watch it and just be like, bang, London? Straight away, I was like, bang.
And then the hair was inspired by Maleficent.
Yeah.
And also another wig chapel.
Yeah.
If I was going to wish anything, I would wish that perhaps the hair was in the same red as a dragon and that maybe smoke or glitter or something.
This is the perfect example of what we're talking about, holding queens to an unfair standard. We've literally been like, congratulations. You
wore a dress.
Yeah, you wore clodhoppers on the main stage, and now Lukey's like, you are so beautiful that for the next week I'm gonna need you to bring pyrotechnics to the stage. Like, listen,
honestly, like,
I just wanna say first and foremost that I gave Tace a 10 out of 10.
I think for both of us that's gonna be a.
That's a 10.
It was hitting every single G-spot I didn't know I had. Ooh, okay, so let's move on to the judges' chit-chatter.
Bear in mind, we've just seen 36 fucking looks throughout this episode.
There's 70 looks.
So if you can't keep up, I don't blame you, because I barely can and I've got notes.
The thing that I love when I watch a queen on the main stage is that if they receive critique, feeling like they're on a level with the judges. One thing I absolutely loved about Bimini is she didn't seem to give a shit about the critique.
She was like, hi, babe.
Hi, babe. Like, and that's queen shit right there. Like, she was
just
like,
needs to be intimidated by Michelle and RuPaul.
And it was like, I'm standing here in a fucking look. It is a fully crafted vision, and like, what you're giving me finger waves. Come on.
My favourite part of the critique is the fact that Michelle knows the term pom-pom shorts, which, if you don't know, basically translates as pussy shorts. And the fact that Michelle knows that is fucking wild.
I absolutely loved the close-up on Lawrence Chaney's nose contour. If you didn't see that.
I did not notice.
The swordfish of season 2. It was literally mental. So then we head backstage to find out what the girls are feeling. And in this very cute and short untucked moment, can I just first mention,
please,
Crunchy Munchy Thirsty Kirsty?
Crunchy Munchy Thirsty
Kirsty.
Well, yes, so Ahura said what we were all thinking, which was that Tia's entrance wigs was a little bit thirsty. But, to be fair, I think Tia kind of swung it back round when she was like, it's actually a cultural frizzy moment. It's like, all right, bitch.
When Ginny said, I think you're scared of Estina because of her talent, I was like, damn, bitch.
Yeah, she was like, well, she looks good and you're worried because she's pure talent. It's like, oh.
Exactly. It's like, not only is she beautiful, she's also fucking talented. And how does that make you feel? What was really mental to me is that, like, I could see that, like, Joe Black just, like, did not know how to take it. And that's what's so strange about these structures of TV, is that Joe Black is a legend in the UK.
Hands down, that's it.
Irregardless of, like, sort of celebrity visibility, we're talking, he is in the upper echelon of, like, UK drag queens. We're talking Jodie Harsh. We're talking, like, people that have been around for such a long time. No shade to Jodie.
You are young and you are gorgeous.
You are gorgeous. He has cemented himself in the Mount Rushmore of drag icons for the UK. Like, I think that he obviously has so much to show on Drag Race that it was just really mind-blowing to him to get on there and to be critiqued so hard and so unfairly at the very beginning. And
I don't think unfairly.
You don't think unfairly?
No.
I think that...
I don't think he was showing Brighton.
First of all, it's very subjective how you show Brighton compared to the fact that the judges probably haven't been to any of the places that they
apart from London and Brighton, yeah.
But the taste level and expertise, everything that they brought.
Yeah, he's bringing you drag. Prime time drag.
I don't know whether they exclusively work with Dan Chapman, but the wigs that they brought to that main stage. Let me tell you, finger waves are not easy to do, and them gorgeous, gorgeous vintage styles that Joe Black brings are not cheap, they're not easy, and I just think that Joe Black brings such a high quality of drag to the runway.
Agreed.
Yeah. And so I think that it shook her, as it shook all of us. Like, just look at Twitter, just look at Instagram, anything. Like, it shook literally everyone that was watching, because people viewed her as a front runner, like as we did, and it was confusing.
Shocking.
Joe Black. Sashay away. Thank you so much.
So yeah, Joe Black is out. Bimini's in, and Astina is the top bitch of the week. How do you feel?
I feel really fucking good about it. I feel like, first of all, I think what's really interesting about Astina is that actually she is giving you like modern pop performer. So she's not giving you, as she walked in, like she's not giving you high glam drag. And I think that people so often want to see from their winner, they want to see someone that walks in and they are giving you visuals. And that's not what Astina is giving you. She is a fully rounded performer that is giving you dancing, singing. She's giving you beauty. She's giving you makeup. She's giving you, but like she is absolutely representative of like a fully rounded performer. So I think the first winner might not have tied in with everyone's idea of what their front runner is going to be, because so many people are so married to the idea of it being very, very visual.
Yeah.
Because they associate being like a very visual. And obviously that's not to take away from the fact that Astina is absolutely fucking gorgeous, but she's not giving you like super fucking painted drag. Okay, so let's talk about the season 3 dream cast.
My first dream cast clientele would be It's Starlet. She is just absolutely gorgeous. I've tried to copy her beat many, many times. She's in Horace family house, and she's just an absolute beauty, and love to see it, honeys. Love to see it. What about you, Barney?
Oh, and my dream cast of season 3 is obviously Prince Chio.
Oh,
he's a Mr. Gay England finalist 2021. Also, Sexual Freedoms Awards Performer of the Year. I'd love to see Chio. Obviously, Drag Kings are very needed for season 3, so I'd love to see Chio on Drag Race.
What was your rose and thorn of the week?
Ooh! Definitely my rose was Bimini doing Princess Julia. I just think that it's so incredible for her to be immortalized in the world of Drag Race as a gay icon, because she fucking is. And that was just really heartwarming for me to see such an incredible queer icon really put out there by Bimini. So that was mine.
I think my rose was just like all the entrances. Like I said before, this was the most exciting first episode ever of Drag Race, because I've heard of all the gals, and it's just so exciting to see watch them get famous and see what their future will hold for them, and it's just super cute.
Absolutely. And what would be your thorn?
I think my thorn would be just who RuPaul put in the bottom. I don't agree at all.
Yeah,
I just felt very bad for me gals. But we shall see what happens, because you never do know, do ya?
Truly. I think my thorn would be Cherry Valentine's pilgrim pump that she brought onto the runway.
What's that? The Darlington clock?
The Darlington shoe! I love you, TV, but that shoe had to be that lace-up pilgrim pump. So that's everything of episode 1 wrapped up for Cliffhangers this week. But tune in next week for Cliffhangers to find out whether we can explain on this podcast about Ginny Lemon's mental rehearsal outfit, or
if the East London versus Clapham beef is going to become physical.
Okay, so we will see you next week on Cliffhangers.